And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, July 28th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Yes, a Wednesday morning. The sun is shining. Going to be a hot one. Going to be a wonderful Wednesday, though. And we're glad to have you with us, and glad to have Bob McDonald with us this morning to talk about Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
How are you?
Be with you. Great. Thanks for letting me join you by phone. I got a bit of a crazy day already started. but it's good to be with you bright and early, and hope you're doing well.
I am doing fine. And, you know, I was talking to somebody about you the other day. I forgot who it was now, but they were amazed, almost flabbergasted about you getting out maybe at 3:30 or 4 o'clock every morning and working out. I assume you did this morning.
Yes, I did. And I know it's someone said that to me just yesterday, I think, about it's amazing that you get up at 3:30. I said, no, it used to be amazing. Now it's just stupid.
Well, you must be in pretty good shape physically.
Well, I tell you, Susan and I both, we've made exercise and health. It's been a part of our life since we were kids, and when we started dating and got married, we continued doing that together. And we enjoy doing that each morning together. And but it's an important part of our life, and we enjoy doing it.
Yeah. Well, before we start talking about banking, this involves banking. Involves your place of business on West Main. Last Thursday, you had a reception in my honor. You and Susie worked that all out, and had a lot of people to come by. It was an invitation only, and we certainly appreciate that, and the fact that getting ready for the big Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So, Bob, thank you very much for what you and Cedarstone did.
Oh, thank you, Coleman. It was a real pleasure, and I appreciate Susie allowing us to be a part of that event. And you had a big turnout. You had family. You had your three sons, and I think it was Clark who came down from Indiana. Is that right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, and so you had your three sons, two of your grandsons, and of course you had your sponsors and your radio friends over the years and your guest host. And gosh, we had a big crowd there at the bank, and it was just a real pleasure for us to be a part of that. And again, we thank Susie and WANT for letting us be a part of it, and just honor you and Helen for your, gosh, Coleman, almost 61 years of live radio and almost 30 years there of Coleman and Company. And that's just an amazing record. And thanks for making our community so special, Coleman. And those words are not lightly said.
Well, thank you. And, of course, we said it many times. We appreciate you being a part of this almost since the bank started. So what's the latest from the bank this morning?
Well, one more thing before we get off of that. Your big induction ceremony is coming up here this weekend, and over at Embassy Suites in Murfreesboro. I know you're getting ready for another big event there, Coleman.
Yeah, and Clark is coming down for this one, too.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Well, there'll be a big crowd there cheering you on, and my goodness, what a great honor and a well-deserved one. And we're all very happy for you, Coleman, your family, and proud of you.
Well, thank you much. Let's talk banking.
Okay, enough of you.
Yes.
You just hate talking about yourself, but that's what makes it so much fun. I see you start to get nervous, and it just makes it fun to see you squirm.
Yep. You're right.
Well, we're busy at the bank, Coleman, as we kind of wrap up our final few minutes, and rates are still low, and that's good if you're a borrower. For folks who are doing mortgage loans, the housing market is still very active, and so for your listeners who are in the market to buy a home, we can do all kinds of mortgage loans. We have the secondary market loans. Our officer on that is Cindy Harrell. She does a terrific job, and those 30-year fixed-rate loans are still in that 3% range. Sometimes they're below 3%. And then if you don't want to go through that program, we have what we call in-house mortgage loans, where we keep the loan right there at Cedarstone Bank, and those rates are good also. And whether you're buying or if you're refinancing, we can do both of those types of loans. So for your listeners who are interested in that, we look forward to hearing from them should they call. And the car business is active too. There's just not much inventory. You've been reading where used cars now, Coleman, are worth more today than they were when they were originally purchased.
Yeah,
so that just
amazing.
Tells you about it is. It just tells you about the economics law of supply and demand. There's just not much supply, but there's a high demand, so it's driving those prices up. But we've got a good rate on car loans, whether it's used or new, at 3.99%. And so we look forward to hearing from your listeners should they be interested in that.
And last but not least, want to recommend our listeners, if they don't already, they should have a Simply Better free checking account at Cedarstone.
Yeah, it's a great account, Coleman. We're very active in those. A lot of people are moving into Lebanon and Mount Juliet and Donaldson from other cities and other states, and they hear about how great Middle Tennessee is, so they're moving here. And when they do, we're opening up a lot of accounts, Coleman, moving here from California, Ohio, New York, and these people are able to still work from home, and so they're moving here and enjoying what we've come to learn about what makes Middle Tennessee so great. So we welcome those folks who are moving here and who are looking to bank at a community bank, and where they'll get good service and have all the technology that they need.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Next week, we'll do it again. And, Bob, thank you much.
Thanks, Coleman. Have a great day.
Bob McDonald, President and CEO, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Well, we're 11 after the hour, and here he is on a Wednesday morning, the one and only Uncle Pete.
Good morning, Wilson County and the surrounding areas. This portion of your program today is being brought to you by the veterans of Wilson County. Good morning, my old friend.
Well, good morning. Yes, I'm older than you.
You are.
A little bit. How old are you, Pete?
75.
75. Oh, you're about the same age as my brother.
Right. That'd be the good-looking one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I guess he's 74.
Oh.
Yeah, he's 74. So
he was born in 47?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, whatever. What's happening in your life?
Well, getting ready for the fair.
Yeah.
We're trying to get some of our veterans that are in the different organizations but don't participate a lot to come out and help. This year, Gwen at the fairgrounds is in Fiddler's Grove. We're needing some people to help man the air-conditioned Veterans War Museum. Just sit and make sure people see what and ask questions and things like that. There's a couple other buildings out there that they're needing some volunteers for to help. They're all air conditioned, and in some cases you'll have a youth fair board member with you, but they can't be by themselves. So we're trying to find some seniors. So if you don't get around much, but you want to participate, want to help, call me or call Gwen out at the fairgrounds, and we can put you on the thing.
As far as fair jobs go, this is kind of a cushy job, isn't it?
This is not in the heat.
Right.
This is got a nice chair in there. You can sit down and relax, and mainly what you're doing is just ensuring the safety and tranquility of the museums out in Fiddler's Grove. We also need some veterans to step up. We have a memorial that will be back here. It was here 3 years ago, and this is a memorial to the fallen of Tennessee, and it travels around Tennessee. And we want to have a veteran at all times. Anytime it's open, we want a veteran in there. Mm-hmm. Again, nice air-conditioned building, nice seating arrangement. More than anything else, we ask anybody that does participate in it to walk around and look and see who's where on the wall. It'll have their picture a little bit about them and when they fell.
And that's all of Tennessee?
All of Tennessee.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Somebody's done a lot of work for that.
They've done a lot of work. The people that are doing this have done an excellent job, and they've had to add to it since the last time it was here.
Yeah.
And we're really, it's going to be in the Veterans Building where it will be very visited. It was the last time. I don't know, did you know about the gentleman that the World War II veteran, Captain, Marine, that they buried Sunday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very, very visited. A lot of people came. In fact, more than the church would hold. And a lot of them went out to the actual burial. And somewhere that gentleman that was in that grave was buried also with his family.
Right.
So we've got a lot going on. I know we've got to take a break, so let's take a break.
All right. Uncle Pete is here. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:16. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota Red Max. Complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. We're still looking at this crash block in the right lane southbound on Ellington Parkway here at Trinity Lane. It's got traffic pretty slow over here on this side of town right now. It's a lot of rubbernecking driving by this accident here on Ellington Parkway southbound again at Trinity Lane as traffic builds I-40 through Kingston Springs coming in from Dixon County and from Hickman County as well. Gatlinburg Wine Cellars, home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Log on now at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey Lebanon, what's for dinner? If you find yourself asking or answering this question often, you're in luck because I have the answer for you. The Edge Food and Drink at Lebanon Country Club is now open. The newly remodeled restaurant is open to the public Tuesday through Sunday and is the newest gathering place for lunch, dinner, or watching your favorite teams. Follow The Edge Lebanon on Facebook and Instagram to see weekly food and drink specials and live music lineups. Check them out online at theedgelebanon.com. See y'all there.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Uncle Pete's here. We're having a good time this morning, both on and off the air. But let me thank you for the coffee. You most of the time, unless you have forgotten and don't have time,
Yes.
Which is rare, you always bring some coffee out. You have good coffee at Uncle Pete's.
I bring you coffee, and I bring Bill 2 tenderloins.
Yeah.
Eats one now and eats one later.
Yeah.
You know, we've added to our liars table, not liars table, they get upset. The exaggeration and stretching of the truth table. We now have a protege table right beside it for the upcoming younger people to listen in and so they won't tell the same tales.
As this is pretty much every morning ritual at Uncle Pete's.
Now and evening.
Oh.
See, we now have two groups. We have the morning breakfast group and we have the afternoon snack group.
Okay.
They come in and eat pie and cake and ice cream and stuff like that and talk.
Well, I know Bobby James is our maintenance guy here.
He's there every morning, usually brings tomatoes. And
somebody's after you already.
Yeah.
And then there are others. Billy Price is a pretty regular one, isn't he?
Yeah, Billy's in North Carolina, I think today. He's somewhere at a auction.
He's trying
to buy him a bucket truck.
Okay.
He's been without a bucket truck for about 3 months, and it's driving him crazy.
Yeah. Well, the guy that owns the old quarry here.
Raymond Harris.
Is he
you
one
know,
of
I
them?
wish I was that smart. Man took a quarry that it was sold one time for $1, and nobody wanted it. They didn't want the liability. What can you do with a quarry? He said, I'm going to fill it up. Everybody laughed. Sure you are.
And
he's filling it up at $50 a dump. And I wish I was that smart. People, some of the powers to be sort of got upset with him, but he's offering a service that nobody else is offering. Where are you going to put that stuff? Now, he's not taking anything trash, anything that floats.
Yeah.
He's taking rock, asphalt, concrete, that type of stuff, and dirt. No place to take it.
Right, and even getting a free commercial here on the radio
Well,
with us.
Like I told somebody, I said, if I was that smart, I'd have bought that and sold the truck stop. Whole lot less headaches. Because I'm like everybody else, cannot find help.
Yeah.
Cannot find help.
Well, what do you? I understand what they were trying to do in Washington. I think people were in between a rock and a hard place. A lot of people were. They needed some help, but it is just not right to pay people to sit on their rear ends when you got people out here that's begging for workers.
And you cannot
who are able-bodied. I'm not talking about those that can't.
But you cannot pay them. Also, they up the hourly wage on the payment. They paid them at $15 an hour. And why would you want to go back to work at $10 or $12 an hour?
Yeah.
When you can sit at home and do nothing. Now there is one group that has come back in full force. The sheriff has been telling everybody that the thieves are out. Last Wednesday, my wife calls me and says there's a man out here in our yard. She goes out on the back porch. He's in a black truck and trying to pick up my generator and put it in his truck. When she hollered at him, he jumped in his truck. Now he was proper. He had a mask on.
Oh.
So the masked rider in a Ford F-150, we got you on film. But he said that thefts in Wilson County are just going through the roof. They're losing 2 and 3 trailers a month. So if you got stuff, lock it up, chain it up, turn the mean dog loose.
Yeah.
I loaded Marianne's gun. I've called her 3 times before I come home now. I'm on the way home, honey. But back to the veterans.
Well, those are the times we're living in, and sorry, it's what it is.
It is. Instead of getting an honest job, come if you're halfway decent, come I'll hire you as a cook.
Yeah, but back to the veterans.
Our veterans home is finally retired.
Okay.
We had our last vet who was our legally blind guy. We got him into an assisted living program and got him into his own place. With what Operation Stand Down in Nashville is doing and HUD VASH is doing, I can literally get them in to a home quicker than I can process them into that house. And HUD VASH will pick up temporary housing for them. It will help them with deposits and stuff like that on rentals. And if they're handicapped, it helps them find handicap facilities. And this is great. I mean, it is really great. We have teamed up, because of our vehicles, with Senior Ride.
Okay.
So if you're a veteran, you can call Senior Ride. If you need to go to Nashville or Murfreesboro, they can't go into the other counties. Mm-hmm. We can.
Okay.
They will contact us. We will make arrangements to pick you up and take you to your appointments. And, we're doing this because this is very well needed, because like me, the Vietnam vet era, we're in our 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
But the young guys that fought the longest war America has ever fought, Afghanistan and Iraq, they need help. And our Veteran Service Office is going full guns. They're helping it everywhere they can, but you also need representation that is for you. The American Legion and the VFW are both things that are over 100 years old. American Legion is 102. Post 15 in Lebanon, Tennessee, I'm proud to say, is 102 years old. It's actually a few months older than the National American Legion.
Wow. Yeah.
You know where Post 1 is?
Where?
Paris, France.
Oh, okay.
The name Legionnaires came from the French in World War I when the volunteers went over, and they called them our American Legionnaires.
Yeah.
We shortened it to the American Legion.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Okay. And if you're a veteran and ever in Paris, France, go to the American Legion Club in Paris. All you got to do is show them that you're a member of the American Legion anywhere in the United States, and you're in for free, and you drink for free and eat for free.
How about that?
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
But we're needing the younger guys to join. And I've heard every excuse in the world. And I used them when I was young. But if you were in Afghanistan or you were in Iraq, there are things that are coming back and biting them. The burn pits are the diseases and things that are coming from that. I've got one guy that is 100% disabled because when Hussein burned the oil wells, he put sarin gas, mustard gas, anything that he wanted to get out of so that we couldn't find it. He set those on top of a well, lit the well and set it on fire. Burn it. It went up in black smoke and rained down on these kids. Mm-hmm. They didn't know it. So it's wreaking havoc. It's just like Agent Orange for the Vietnam veterans. Mm-hmm. Ours is bad. Theirs is worse. And
how does it affect? What's it?
Heart, lungs, kidneys. You absorbed it into your skin because it rained on you.
Yeah.
They're getting lesions on their arms and legs and face. I think you got it because loss of hair is one.
I wouldn't know that.
But and you need you know, and I hate to say it exactly like this, but do not go to the assistance at the VA. You need a VFW representative or an American Legion representative on your side, because the VA is like any other government agency. They want to save money. So the first thing they're going to do is deny you and deny you and deny you. The first thing that the American Legion is going to say, read the fine print. You got to do it. This is approved. This is approved. There is a list of some 20-odd items that qualify for disability with the VA that can get you free medicines, free doctors, free everything. It can also take your children and your spouse. What we learned in Vietnam was I came home, I had Agent Orange, I had children, and my children have problems because I passed it on through my genes. So we're now finding that all of these young men that came home, and some of them came home 20 years ago and now have grown children that are having problems, mm-hmm. and that can be traced back and they could be eligible. But the only way you're going to find out is join us. You will get a magazine every month, and in that magazine, it will address the diseases, the sicknesses, the problems that are happening from Vietnam era and yours. We, the Vietnam veterans, are standing up and preaching every day, raising Cain every day in Washington, trying to get more and more things to cover you guys. But I need you to join.
Yeah. Well, are you succeeding in your efforts in Washington?
Yes. Yeah. They wouldn't have the benefits they have right now if the Vietnam veteran groups, and that's who's mainly in charge of the American Legion, the VFW, if we didn't go pound on their table, hey, these guys need it now. Not, don't go into research. You know what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And the American government drags their feet. I'm about to run out of time here.
We got 2 minutes.
The American government has drugged their feet on this. Mm-hmm. But the only way we can put pressure on them, and the bad thing is there's less and less veterans in Congress and in the Senate. Yeah. And as you lose those, you have idiots, and I'm not going to call his name, but he's from Wisconsin, said, we need to start cutting back on the VA benefits. We need to start letting them use civilians. Well, that ain't worked with Social Security and Medicaid. We don't want. We've got VA hospitals. We've got VA doctors who only treat what we're having. Yeah. We need those protected. But the only way is when I go to Washington, I say, by the way, I represent Lebanon, Tennessee, and we have 196 veterans. The state of Tennessee has 1,800,000. We all vote. How are we going to talk about this, Senator? And that's what we need. Come join us. They can come out to the truck stop. I'm in and out of there all the time. I'm retired. I'm down to 90 hours now, like you. But I've got applications out there. I can sign them up. They can go by and pick up an application at the Veteran Service Office, or they can go online, legion.org.
Well, it's to their advantage to be a part of one of these organizations, and the more numbers you have, the louder that speaks to the powers that be.
To me, the magazine is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
Because not only does it tell you all these things, it'll help you find friends that you've lost. It'll help you see where reunions are going on. I've gone to several reunions of units I flew with in Vietnam, units I worked with in the States. So all of this is precious. And I told one guy, I said, you know, the best thing in the world you can do with your magazine, after you finish reading it, give it to your wife. She'll find things you forgot.
Pete, our time's up. Thanks for being with us. Let's see, 804-4404. That's
You
your
got
telephone
it.
number.
You got it.
804-4404. If you have questions and want to contact Pete, he'd like to hear from you, I'm sure.
And thank you very kindly, my friend. And I really am glad you're going to be in the Hall of Fame.
All right. That's part one of Coleman and Company. Keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford and that low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's still a little bit heavy there on Ellington Parkway southbound at Trinity Lane from the earlier wreck. These cars are up against the wall here in a tricky spot. Be careful, 65 southbound here at Dickerson Pike. That's what we're looking at live right now. The police just got here to work this minor wreck. Princess Hot Chicken is now hiring at both locations. Check them out at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedar Stone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staplers, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Today's forecast calls for very hot temperatures with highs soaring into the mid-90s, and those field-like temperatures will be over 100 degrees. So drink plenty of water and take a lot of breaks in the shade if you have to be outdoors. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2 here on a Wednesday morning. As always, we welcome Philip Evans. Philip's here to talk about Absolute Rental and Supply at 1325 West Main in Lebanon. Phone number 615-443-RENT. Good morning.
Morning, Coleman.
get that phone number in here and make sure that is an important thing, though. People need to remember that 443-RENT, RENT.
It's easy to remember, but it really is. It's important to call and to make sure we're getting the right, talk to you about what job you've got going and make sure you get the right piece of equipment for the right application, and then also being able to reserve it for you as well. That's a huge part of our deal because, like I say, we want to make sure everything's, you get your job done most efficient way possible.
Well, Philip Etherly started this 20 years ago, almost 2 months ago. It was in June.
Exactly, yeah.
June of whatever, 20 years
2001,
ago.
yeah.
And it's been a good ride for you. I don't know whether we've talked about this much. Where'd you get the idea, and how'd you get started?
I had a gentleman approach me when I was in college in like 80, that'd be probably 86, 87, and he's a local businessman here, and he says, Philip, we're talking about starting a rental store, and we want you to maybe manage the deal, kind of start off in the deal. And I was like, oh, no, I'm in college. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And so that was always in the back of my mind. And so anyway, when I got out of the excavating and started doing the real estate business, I really wasn't happy selling real estate, and so that was always in the back of my mind. So I told Jaquita, we loaded up and we went to Orlando, Florida, where there's an American Rental Association convention going on. And I said, if I go down there and get a good positive feeling about this, when I come back to Lebanon, I'm going to start one. And that's exactly what happened.
Have you been to the same location all over?
Yes, yeah, same location the whole time. So anyway, once I got back from Orlando, I think that was in like February, I started looking at property. I started, kind of getting everything together, doing my homework and trying to get everything together up. And it's been a very good 20 years.
Yeah, well, that your commercial was on during the break here, and you ended by saying, we have what you need.
Exactly.
And you've done your best to have what people need.
We really do. We're constantly, we've got a thing in our computer system. If someone calls and we don't have that piece of equipment, you're supposed to go in and log that in. And then every month I can go in and see what all people's called for that are missed rentals. And then, if I see we've missed enough rentals or think, well, yeah, that would be a good piece of equipment to add, then I'll normally try to add that equipment to the fleet.
Right. Well, of course, the popularity, the need has to be there. You can't have absolutely everything in the whole world, but you, for the most part, you do have what people need, and you listen to people. That's another good thing.
Yeah, we really do. Like I said, we listen to people and want to see what they're needing, and then again, going to these trade shows, trying to continue to be educated on what the new trends are, new technologies are. I'm not a very IT kind of guy, but anyway, I'm struggling, but I try to keep up with what's going on and to make sure we have the best equipment.
Well, another thing you've mentioned a few times, you will sell a piece of equipment.
We are, but right now, I hate to say this, but I've had to really limit my selling of equipment because you can't get it back.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, and
that makes sense too.
I mean, in the last 2 to 3 weeks, it's just almost killed me to someone come in wanting to buy a skid steer loader or a mini excavator. I'm saying, listen, at this point, I can't sell you one because if I sell you one, then I'll be missing rentals. It's one thing if I could get a new one, next week, but when they're telling you 6 to 8 months out, I don't need to be missing rentals.
Well, we've had so far adequate rain, but maybe for most part not too much. And excavation has been good. A lot of that is going out.
All the dirt moving equipment is going out really good. Soil's good condition to work with. It's not too wet, too muddy, or anything like that. So, right now we're just kind of dealing with heat. We do rent fans and stuff like that, big barrel fans and all that. If you have an outdoor event, you need to get some air moving. We can help you out with that. We've got several big barrel fans. But like I say, right now is a good time. We're able to schedule our deliveries. I want to give a shout out. I've got a new delivery driver. He listened to the radio a couple weeks ago, and Chad, I want to tell him hi this morning. He told me after he listened to last week, he said, hey, I was expecting a shout out. So I want to shout out to Chad this morning. Keep it between the yellow lines.
Well, have you had any problem with new hires or?
We're always, right now we've got a good crew. Everything's going real smooth, but we're always looking for some good quality people. So, if you know anybody looking for a job, come send them down our way.
Well, there's not enough people looking for jobs, apparently.
Well, that's kind of topic for a different day.
Oh, you're there. You have convenient hours. You do ask questions. You want to get the right piece of equipment. You also want to make sure somebody knows how to operate that right piece of equipment.
Exactly. Yep. Just give us a call. Like I say, we're open there from 7 to 6 Monday through Friday, 7 to 4 on Saturdays. So just give us a call if you've got any kind of project coming up. We'd be glad to get you set up.
All right, AbsoluteRental.com. Go there and check out the whole inventory, and then call 615-443-RENT and make that reservation, and then come see Philip. How's that?
Sounds great.
See you next Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
Philip Etherly, Absolute Rental and Supply, 1325 West Main, 615-443-RENT. 21 before the hour, I invited Judge Brody Kane to come and be with us this morning. He is here, and Judge, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is nice to see you. And I was thinking, what would we talk about? And some of my best thinking, I guess, takes place in the shower each morning. But I want to talk a little bit as we start off this morning, before we get talking about what you do as judge and all of this, about your family. You've got a nice family, and I've seen your pictures on Facebook. And by the way, didn't you have a birthday a day or two ago?
Sure did. They just keep piling up on me, Coleman. Sure enough.
Well, as far as I know, it beats the alternative.
Well, that is true. That is true. So, yeah, it's been a real good summer for us. So we have my oldest daughter, Madison, has moved back to Wilson County. You know, she was in school in Knoxville. She's a nurse for Dr. Donalette, pediatric clinic. They're in that real big, nice building across from Chili's. So she's got a house over in Gladeville. And then my oldest daughter is at Western Kentucky. She's come back for the summer. She's in nursing, and she's been working here in Lebanon. So it's been real good to have her home. And then my son is graduate high school. He'll be going to Western. So I've got about 2 more weeks of having a full house, or at least 2/3 of a full house, and they're both moving to school. So
yeah,
it's been a really, really good summer. And
your son played football friendship.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He was a kicker and had some offers at some schools, and but he's decided he's just going to be a student, and if that's what he wants, that's what I want. So I'm proud of it.
Let's go back. You grew up in Watertown, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Were you born in? Did you live when
No, Coleman. My family originally is from Texas. I was born in Dallas, but we moved to Watertown in 1978. So I grew up on the farm, which is now where the new high school's built. So we've been, I was there, from 3rd grade on.
Y'all buy that from the ag teacher?
Harry Love had that house for a long, long time. So they used to call it the old Love place.
Yeah,
sure enough. So Miss Irene Love, his widow, I used to mow her yard. She lived down there in town in Watertown, and I used to go down there and drive my mower down there and mow her yard. So,
well, so you graduated from Watertown High.
Yes, sir.
Did you play football?
Oh yeah, you don't remember that? Yeah,
actually, no. But
I didn't get the accolades that my son got, but I tell you, that was such an important part of growing up in Watertown, because I know when I was a kid, my dad would take me and we'd go and he'd watch the game, and I'd play, football out on the, back behind the bleachers and throw the ball around and play. And then as you get older, you start paying a little bit more attention to the game, and then before you know it, you're out there playing. But that's just that's one of the beauties of growing up in a small town, is Friday nights in the fall.
For your father, Bernie Kane, and sometimes I interchange y'all's names. I've called you Bernie once or twice.
Well, that's a good thing.
But did y'all own a hardware store at one time?
Yes, sir. He owned it. This was after I graduated high school. He traveled a lot. He was in sales forever, and then he kind of got tired of being on the road, and he bought that hardware store. I'm not sure when that was. Probably in the 90s, I guess. And then he owned it 15, 20 years and sold it. And it was kind of funny because he traveled a lot. And all of a sudden, when he started working in town, he knew all the gossip. And it was kind of a switch, because I was used to him being gone. And all of a sudden, he knew, what was going on in town. He was the fount of information. So, but he really enjoyed that part too.
Where did you go to college?
Went to MTSU and then went down to Memphis State for law school.
Well, what was your goal maybe as you were getting through college? Did you think at one time you'd be sitting where you are now necessarily?
Not at that age, Coleman. I sure didn't. my dad and I had talked about me maybe going in business with him at one point. And the accounting courses kind of kicked my rear end, and I figured out pretty quick maybe the business model wasn't my forte. And I got into a criminal justice course, and I knew from that moment on that's where I wanted to go. And so I just kind of switched courses and decided to go to law school, and here I am. So it's amazing how life, you go in, your life takes turns you never know about.
And I have seen so many people who graduate from college with a degree, a certain degree of whatever, and they may pursue that for a little while. And a lot of people stay there, but a lot of people don't. So like you say, things happen, and so many people are doing something totally different from what they actually studied in college.
I started, I was in the professional pilot. Of course, MTSU is known for their aerospace program. So my first semester, I went into the aerospace. And I thought, well, being a pilot, that sounds pretty cool, But I realized pretty quick everybody in those classes had wanted to be a pilot their whole life. And I was kind of a fish out of water and knew I needed to get out of that. But, we can't all do what we love for as long as you have, Coleman. And I want to congratulate you on the Hall of Fame selection. We're real proud of you. The whole county's proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not sure I deserve it, but I'll take it. With that, we got to take a break. Judge Brody Kane is here. We'll talk more in a moment on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
All right, it's now 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. And it's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota Red Max. Complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We're still seeing heavy traffic flow here on 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. Still looks good. Right now, I-40 coming through Kingston Springs. All that traffic flow coming down the interstate now on I-40 in from Dixon County, even leaving Hickman County into Dixon looks good. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar is home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. You can check them out at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive right behind Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital and see for yourself. You should move here.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our final segment here for a Wednesday morning. Judge Brody King is here. There's one other thing I want to mention in your personal life, and then we'll talk a little bit about the judgeship, what's going on in court and all this. But your wife, we haven't even mentioned her this morning.
Well, she's quite a personality, I tell you. She's just been a blessing to me that we were married, looks like almost working on 27 years, so the years keep piling up. So she's listening.
Well, she's does she have a law degree?
Oh yes,
she's
been practicing. That's how we met, was in law school, and started dating the middle of our first year and got married the middle of our third year, and been going strong ever since.
Well, of course, she's has the newspaper column that she and Becky Andrews
telling tales.
And I saw Becky the other day, and I said, sometimes I have to read half of it before I know which one of them is actually writing.
Yeah, sure enough. But they do have their own little style about things. But she was writing one last night, as a matter of fact. I've kind of got into watching Blue Bloods. I never watched it when it aired, and then I've started watching it on Netflix, whatever comes on. And I'm trying to tell her about the show, and she's busy writing her telling tales articles. So, but she stays busy.
Did you remember seeing Perry Mason?
Oh yeah. Sure enough. Never lost a prelim. That's a pretty amazing record he had. So,
well, some of the things that you see on television are not exactly true to life, but of course they do capture our attention, our imagination, this kind of thing. But it's a little bit different in real life.
Well, we kind of had something funny happen to us the other day. We were trying a murder case up in Jackson County, and of course, when all this COVID stuff going on, typically we'll have the jury in the jury box, but given the space constraints up there, we were trying the case and actually had the jury sitting out in the audience and kind of moved the tables around. We went up there on a Monday and picked the jury. I picked 12 jurors and 2 alternates. So we had 14 people all together sitting out there in the audience. Well, we come back. All we did was pick the jury. It was on an afternoon. Came back the next morning, Tuesday morning. We start giving opening statements. The jury comes out, and I'm sitting there. They're giving their openings, and I keep counting because I've got them kind of spaced out, and I kept counting up with 15 people. They all had legal pads, all, you know. And I looked over at Jeff Hardy's the circuit clerk up there, and I said, Jeff, am I crazy, or there are 15 people up there? But I started questioning my math skills. Sure enough, somebody had shown up, gone into the deliberation room, and picked up a legal pad, was sitting out there with them. An older lady. I thought it was the one. Of course, if you get into a trial by, a couple hours in the testimony, you know exactly who your jurors are. But this was, when it first started, I thought, well, that's the one I don't think I recognize. And sure enough, I mean, it's amazing what'll happen, particularly in these rural counties. People, I guess she just wanted to do her part. But
what did you do?
I just kindly asked her to leave the courtroom. I never did figure out what she was doing. We just kept riding along.
But no
the
repercussions.
lawyers didn't even notice. I mean, they were giving their opening statements. So
that's unusual to say the
you
least.
just never know what's going to happen. So, but
let's see. How long you had this position?
Almost exactly 7 years, Coleman. 7 fastest years of my life. I can't believe it's gone by so fast.
It doesn't seem like it. But I remember your campaign, and man, you had signs everywhere. I mean, everywhere. You must have had an army that put all of them out.
Well, it was funny. It was about a year ago. Somebody was advertising a garage sale, and I guess they had my old sign in their garage. They put something over it, advertising the yard sale. That part had come off, so it was my sign sitting up here on the bypass. And Larry Tomlinson called me. He said, "Judge, you running again already? It's a little early for signs." So you never know, but they're still out there every now and then.
Well, are we going to see a number of signs in a few months?
You looking for the exclusive? But yes, sir. I'm going to run again. I'll get something out, more formally later. But
this is not your formal announcement.
Not my formal.
You're planning to run.
Yeah, absolutely, and I hope to get earn everybody's vote throughout the district.
What now? Is this the same 17th Judicial District?
15th.
Yes, or 15th.
It's,
I get that wrong every time.
Wilson, Macon, Smith, Trousdale, and Jackson counties.
Right. Well, we had Scott Ridgway in here yesterday talking about what he does with the children and the child advocacy center and so on. That's same area.
Same 5 counties.
Those 5 counties. You stay here most of the time?
Well, I'm here every odd month, and then I try to divide the even months in the outer counties. But now it's getting to the point now that I still, if I get a day or two in the even months, I try to steal them and set some Wilson County stuff, just because when it was set up, the schedule was set up, Wilson was about 50% of the population versus the other 4. Now it's about 65, 68%. So, the greatest predictor of criminal behavior is population. So as it's just a natural result, there's going to be more in Wilson than the other counties.
And what you're saying also means we're growing more.
Absolutely.
So
far faster.
You see a change that you might even have to modify that some more?
As far as the schedule?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just difficult to do because I'm the only judge here that doesn't have my own courtroom. I share mine with Judge Collins. So it's hard. I've got to coordinate my schedule with his. He does criminal here in this county when I'm in the outer county. So I kind of have to work around what he's got. If that was an issue, we might do so. There's been some talk about building a new justice complex at some point. If that's the case, I would have my own designated courtroom, and we would probably be able to do that a little easier. But right now, with our space constraints, it makes it difficult.
Okay. Is there any time in the future you think that this 5-county configuration might change?
There was a lot of talk about doing it this time. I don't think it will happen this term. I think that's pretty much been shut off. But I think there's probably a pretty good. It will definitely be raised again. The issue be raised again. I think there's probably a decent chance it could happen next time around, which would be 2030. just given the skyrocketing population of Wilson County, it could definitely be a standalone district. We'll just kind of have to see what the legislature does.
Okay. How many districts do you know in this whole state?
There was 31. They just added 32. They divided up similar to what our district is. The Williamson County district. There's Lewis, Hickman, and one other Perry County, much smaller counties, and it's similar. Of course, Williamson's exponential growth,
right?
And they made it a standalone district and made the other 3 counties their separate districts. So kind of similar to what we have here. So now there are 32 districts within the state.
So if there were a change, and it seems inevitable that there's going to be a little farther down the road, I would think. It would probably be Wilson be standing alone then.
Could be, or maybe they might put Trousdale with it or something like that. Yeah, I think it could happen. We'll just have to see what the numbers. I love it the way it is. I would hate to see it change, but the numbers are the numbers. So we'll have to see what happens.
Well, let me ask you this: the public defender, the district attorney, they're in the same 5 counties. What kind of relationship do you have there? Is it and what kind of relationship really is it supposed to be? You're the judge. You've got people on either side. The public defender is helping those who, I guess, for financial reasons mainly, and other reasons can't. They need representation. The district attorney's always prosecuting. And where do you fit in?
We have a very collegial relationship. Justin Harris is the assistant DA. He's been the docket manager in Wilson County ever since I've come in, and I have a real good relationship with him. We have communications a lot. When I set bonds on indictments, that's something I do with him each time the grand jury meets. Kelly Skeen is the docket manager for the public defender's office. Again, he and I have a very good relationship. We're able to communicate and talk about cases because both of them are concerned about docket size, moving the dockets, getting folks out of jail if it's needed given the circumstances. But we have a very respectful relationship. Really, just the bar at large in Wilson County just gets along. I mean, we really do. I've always thought that. When I was in practice, I'd go to these other districts on cases, and it was amazing how much ill will there was between different members of the bar. And there's probably some of that here, but it's really to a minimum. It's nice.
I have all my life just about heard people talk about how what an adversarial relationship would be presented in the courtroom, and then when it came lunchtime, they'd go out and have a cup of coffee together or lunch together. And
now, if it's a contested motion, now they'll go at each other. Now, don't get me wrong, but as far as being respectful to each other, I've not seen any problem like that. If they get too heated, I'll just stop and say, let's take a break and let everybody cool off for a few minutes, and we'll tee it up again in 10, 15 minutes. Usually folks can calm down.
I've got 2 other things I want to mention, and one of them here is, you've got to take your job and the judgeship very seriously. You're supposed to apply the law, and of course, first of all, if somebody's either guilty or not guilty, but if they're guilty, there's certain penalties that are supposed to be paid, but the judge has in a lot of cases the responsibility to either, you either go really hard, bear down on somebody, or you, due to other reasons, you can make it lighter. And I'm sure that's something you don't take lightly, that you want to do the very best, do what's right about that. I would think you really do.
Yeah. Well, like what's Monday was my probation violation day, and that's the day that is tough because everybody's asking for another chance, and you can't give everybody another chance. You've got to listen and try to cut the wheat from the chaff and see who has a legitimate argument, good reasons for explaining why they did wrong, and that's by far the most stressful day. We were there till a little after 6 on Monday, and you just get home, you just wiped out because you hope you did the right thing on all the cases, and you hope you made the right choice. We have a finite amount of jail space, Coleman. You can't put everybody in to do their time. And jail's not the best place for everybody. Some folks just need a helping hand. If you just need to try to give the helping hand to the right person at the right time.
Yeah. You need the wisdom of Solomon, don't you?
Yeah, I'm afraid I don't have that, but I do the best I can. So
The other thing, we were talking about your family, talked about your wife. We never did call her name Angel.
Angel Kane. Yes,
So, Angel, we haven't forgot
Yeah.
who you are, but I did draw a blank for a minute earlier. That happens to me all the time.
I'd have the same problem. So
The older I get, the harder it is seem to remember names, and even those that I know, they won't come to me at the right time.
well, I could think my daughter works for Hearthside, and I couldn't think of the name of that a little bit earlier. So it's amazing what words you can't think of. So.
I think we've had a great discussion. I don't know what our listeners think, but I appreciate you coming out, and I'm really to find out a little more about it and be reminded of some of the things I'd heard before about you. But being here all this time, you got to be one of us by now.
Well, I hope so. So if 43 years in Wilson County doesn't do it, I don't know what does. So,
Well, I wonder. I believe the more rural the county is, probably the harder it is to get assimilated. It doesn't take as long in Lebanon, I don't believe, as it does in Gainesboro. But I'm just guessing.
that's probably true. So,
Well, Judge Brody Kane, thanks so much for being. I've enjoyed your visit.
Thank
I wish
you,
you
Coleman.
well.
Good to be here.
That is going to do it for a Wednesday. I hope you'll join us tomorrow. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, Jack Cato is going to be here on the second half. 91-year-old Jack Cato, businessman. We're going to find out about his life tomorrow and looking forward to that. Hope you'll join us then. Until then, I wish you a wonderful day.